buckle up, because it's gonna be a long ride. It's gonna be a wild ride. Nobody cares, but we're gonna tell you anyways. This is Popcorn Chats.
You know what I realized recently is that we don't clap anymore.
I know. The clap is dead. Where the fuck are my notes, bitch? Because they are iconic. I put a lot of work into this week's notes.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Popcorn Chats. I'm MICHAE.
And I'm Katie.
And we are back to continue our deep dive coverage, our rewatch of the hit TV show, Pretty Little Liars. We have one episode already talking about the first half of season 1 that we are calling 1A. And now we are back to talk about the last, 11-ish episodes, I think it ended up being.
Yeah.
Of the last half of season 1, 1B.
Yes, 1B.
We're ready.
Elite, elevated. This season has popped the fuck off. And I'm so excited to be here today talking about it.
This is going to be a fun episode. We're
Yes.
very much looking forward to this. So, but before we jump in, first we must check in.
Yes, checking in. Hello.
Katie, how are things?
Well, I was going to forego a check-in today and actually,
Okay.
if you're down, maybe share our Spotify Wrapped little statistics.
Yeah, how do you, the Popcorn Chats ones?
Yeah.
Yes. I thought you were talking about our personal ones. I'm like, I can't find mine. I can't find it.
You gotta update the app.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Go ahead and share. That just blew my mind.
Okay, Spotify Wrapped is really fucking important to me. Side note, and I made Shelby, both of us airplayed ours this morning on our
Did you
TV.
really?
Because it's very, I just am really interested in everybody's. It's very
Yeah,
telling.
it
It's
is.
very, very telling about people.
I got my playlist, but then I'm like, why am I not seeing the little story with everything? So, okay, it's updating. But while that's updating, I'm not going to watch it now, obviously, but you share the Popcorn Chats.
If you have a show, or I'm imagining if you have music and stuff, I don't know about that because I'm not a musician, but if you have content on Spotify, they let you do a Wrapped where you can see, it's like a creator version of the Wrapped. Ours came out and it's really cute. Let me pull it up. I just feel bad for people who listen to white noise or stuff to fall asleep because theirs is botched. That's why Shelby's was botched. Hers was all gospel music because the other night she thought we were being haunted, so she was playing Jesus music to and so her whole Spotify Wrapped then was gospel music.
Wait, but is that not doesn't it have a cutoff of at the beginning of this month that it
No,
stops
apparently
taking data?
not. She specifically avoided doing that, but then she was oh, it won't affect it for just one night, but it still did. It fucked her entire thing up.
That's wild.
I know.
Trash.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is our Popcorn Chats Spotify Wrapped for anybody who cares. It says we created 2,101 minutes of new content this year. That's fucking crazy. Big time commitment. And it says that's more than 88% of other creators in the TV and film category. So we're working. We're hustling. We're working. Thank you. This really ego boosted me today. I'm not gonna lie.
Did it?
Yeah, this Spotify Wrapped. I was like, all right, this is kind of fun. They have us guess.
Ooh.
One episode really grabbed listeners' attention. Can you guess your number one? We have 3 choices.
Okay,
so
give 'em.
We have Euphoria season 2 premiere. Euphoria season 2 episode 5. That's the one where Rue's running through the streets.
Oh, I loved that one.
Or
Okay.
Euphoria season 2 episode 2, and that was the one where we were freaking out that they were ruining it.
I have a feeling the premiere.
It was the premiere episode.
I was actually thinking it was gonna, if I would have just guessed off the top of my head, I thought it was gonna be one of our Game of Thrones episodes.
Yeah. Our podcast was heard in 42 countries. The United States, shout out, US. United Kingdom is number 2. Australia is number 3. Canada is number 4. Australia, Lila's number 3. And then Canada is number 4. And Germany is coming in at number 5.
Auf Wiederstein.
That was not correct.
That's a real word. I think it's goodbye. Auf Wiederstein.
It's Auf Wiedersehen.
goodbye.
It's Auf Wiedersehen.
No.
It's not Stein. I know that. You're saying Auf Wiederstein. It's not all those R's. It's Auf Wiedersehen.
I think I'm correct.
You're saying Auf Wiedersehen with an Australian accent. Art Wiedersehen.
I think I'm actually correct, but okay.
All right, well, you can keep thinking that. That's fine. Okay, this is a weird fact. It says something magical happened between February 6th and February 12th. We had 215% more listeners compared to our average week.
Oh, that was probably like Euphoria.
Yeah. Wow. Or like one of the Euphoria episodes. Our podcast was in the top 10% most shared globally.
Wow.
So thank you guys for sharing our podcast. That's really
yes, thank you.
nice.
That's amazing.
The percentage of our listeners that actually follow. So that announcement that we do at the beginning of every episode where it's like, hit the green follow button. How many of you bitches actually do that? 13%!
No!
You fake ass bitches. No, I'm just kidding. Please hit the green follow button on Spotify if you listen to this podcast. If you're listening to it right now, really helps us out. Let's get that up to at least like 25 for next year.
At least,
Come on. Calculating listener personalities. Our listeners' podcast personalities are the adventurer. Mm-hmm. So our listeners venture out into the unknown, searching for fresher podcasts and gems yet to be found. Mm. That's very on brand.
That's very us. We can say so ourselves.
Yes, we are a supernova shining star that, you know, we have a small following, but I think we should be a little bit more David Dobrik level.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit closer to that. Listeners scored our podcast 4.5 out of 5 stars on average. We have some haters out there who have brought our average score down, but that's okay.
Red. They're probably Republicans. Frankly, if you rated us anything lower than a 5, you are in fact homophobic.
Yes. We are a top 10 podcast for 154 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We are a top 5 podcast for 84 people. Shout out to you, 84.
Shout out 84.
The amount of fans who have us as their number one podcast. If you are one of these people, please DM us because I want to like send you a little shirt. I think this is really cute. There are 13 of you guys who have us as your number one podcast. That really is cool wild. That's cool to me because it's like, that's not my mom. I know that for a fucking fact.
No, that's not my mom. That's not me. That's not you.
No, I don't fucking.
That's not our friends.
We post these and ghost. Like, I do not listen back to these episodes.
I watch them, or like I watch them on YouTube. I literally never listen to them because I watch them so that way then I can pull clips.
Thank you.
That's wild.
We appreciate
Lucky
you.
number 13.
If that is you and you're like our number one.
DM us.
Or we're your number one show, DM us, yeah, because I want to send you a cute little gift. Thank you guys so much for listening to us this year. Mm-hmm. And if we're on your Spotify Wrapped, let us know because that's super cool. How are you, Michaela? What's your check-in for the day? What do you have to say?
I can also forgo it because I don't have anything to say. So let's just forgo and jump in.
Awesome.
First up, we gotta do it. I'm putting a minute on the clock.
Okay, wait. So I have something to say. I have a confession.
Oh, okay.
I might have cheated. I might have made some little notes. Some hints. Just some trigger words for me to glance at.
Katie. Okay. Well, if this is your first time ever listening to one of our rewatch episodes, we each popcorn back and forth, giving the other 1 minute to summarize everything that happened in the last half of the season. So, Katie, 60 seconds is on the clock. On your mark, get set, go.
Okay, so we open this season. Hannah is in the hospital after her leg has been shattered by A because she got hit by a car. The girlies realize that Noel isn't A and he is incapable of that level of craziness, and he's in fact just trying to get a better grade in English class, blackmailing Ezra Fitz. He's not A. But then they start to realize that Ian, Melissa's new bae, is actually super sus. And to top it all off, Spencer's living with him, and A is framing Spencer the baddest of the girlies. She's trying to take that bitch out so that A is framing Spencer for Allie's murder when the girlies think that it's Ian. Hannah's also forced to like rat out Arya. Oh shit, to her mom, Spencer and Toby, Caleb and Hannah. It's all happening. My things didn't even help. So
trash. Shall we start with standout star, standout scene?
Yes.
Katie, who was your standout star?
My standout star, as probably always it's going to be was Spencer motherfucking Hastings. This group would quite literally be lost without her. That is incredibly apparent to me on this rewatch. She is the smartest and kind of like the only competition for A, because otherwise A would just like destroy all of their lives if it were for Spencer. She's clearly the smartest, and I think that that is why A is trying to take her out all the time. She's always gunned for her the hardest. We see that in this first season with her trying to frame her for Allie's murder, because with Spencer out of the way, like all these 3 other girls are just flopping. It happens again, like when A fucks with Spencer's mental situation. Like her entire family is just gaslighting the fuck out of her this last half of the season. The mental toughness on that cookie, I just love to watch it. She's out here doing the dirty work, finding out that Ian is involved and then having to live with him and like keeping her cool with that, and then coming in clutch, calling Hilton Head, using the like southern accent, bitch. Like she's just always thinking on her feet. I admire her very much, and she's very beautiful.
She's very much the while I was out making moves, y'all were doing niche. That's like her. One, with that phone call, Spencer was also my standout star as well, and I completely agree with everything that you said. And also when her and Toby do the stakeout at the hotel, and then she's bringing like listening devices, coffee, magazines, games. She's doing whatever she has to do to get that information and to track Jenna. Wow, what is everyone else doing?
Finger popping each other's assholes. That's what they're fucking doing. Nothing productive. And here's the other thing that I will say, because you could argue, well, they're focused on their love lives and they have like a lot of other stuff going on, whatever. Spencer's still pulling the best of the best.
Fact.
While Emily's out here contributing 0 and pulling arguably the floppiest bitch alive. Makes me question my sexuality, like opposite direction. Super huge floppage.
Oh my god.
While Spencer's out here doing hard work and pulling Alex, and then haircut Toby.
And then also Spencer is still serving looks.
Yes.
While she's doing all of this.
Yes.
Meanwhile, once again, Emily, what is your wardrobe?
Get out.
The beanie, not even the beanie, but the like hat moment, scarring. Scarring. Truly tragic.
Yes.
Standout scene.
Standout scene. Do you want to go first for this one?
Sure. Mine is pretty basic because I am a basic bitch, and if you show me Spencer and Toby, I'm going to be enraptured. And so my standout scene is either when they're playing Scrabble and she does the like formaldehyde or whatever across the Scrabble board and is like, look at all my points, racking them up, and then he does goofball and he ends up beating her, and then he gives her a t-shirt to sleep in, and he goes into the bathroom and he changes, and she's like, what's he doing? I just love that whole exchange. I love their whole little sleepover. It's so cute. Yeah. And then I also really love the scene at the carnival after she gets out of the little booth that she was stuck in, and when her mother and the judgy church lady and Melissa are all like, Spencer, let's go, and she's about to, but she sees Toby standing there and she starts to walk away, but she's like, no, I am turning around and I'm running to Toby, and when she runs into his arms and gets a comforting hug from him that she doesn't get from anyone from her fucking family, she doesn't find comfort in any of them, but she does in Toby, and they have their cute little moment and kiss in front of everyone. Like, what do you judge us? Love it.
Yeah, both of them have been framed for this murder now, so they have that like common bond, and they're both like outsiders, and all they really have is each other. I love a like running into his arms and like kissing to spite everyone. Like, fuck everybody else. I was really panicking for her when she was stuck in that tube. I felt very claustrophobic, and I hate that. I hate they do that a lot in this show, where they're like stuck in a fun house, stuck in a coffin, stuck in a tube, stuck in a vent. I don't know. I don't like it.
Stuck in the heat incinerator, the kiln. Yeah. Remember that when Caleb like almost gets burned alive?
Remember when Spencer, I think it is, gets stuck in the shower and like she almost gets steamed to death?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like a little carrot.
Like a little carrot. Okay. I really like the Ian bombshell of this season, and I think the moment that they find out that that's who Allie is talking to, the mystery man at the Rock, I think that's really strong, and it adds a lot of layers to the plot. I think the whole show just kind of elevates after that moment for me. Another like minor standout is when Emily is like getting crunk at the dance-a-thon. She's like drunk. Yeah. And she's like, I can open my own damn door.
That is funny.
I just like that moment.
Poor her with Pam sending her girlfriend away. How fucking trash.
Yeah, Pam, get out.
And in the last episode, we had a couple of other like reoccurring things that I'm going to be keeping track of. One of those was fave A text method or like communication method. Katie, what was your favorite way that A communicated with the girlies this season or this last half of the season?
Shoot. What was yours? I don't know if I tracked that as well.
I had two. It was either the cast, when they wrote on Hannah's cast, or when they sent the exterminator to Hannah's house when Caleb was sleeping in the basement. I feel like I didn't really like honestly text them even a lot this season, but those two I was like, that's creative.
Yeah, I just feel like there weren't a lot of communication things. I remember the moment when Toby is there with Spencer when she receives a message from A and he's like, who's A? She just shows like, I'm one step ahead of you, motherfucker. I feel like there were better ones in the first half of this season.
We had no new suspects to add to the A list because already this season we had Allison, Jenna, Toby, Noel, and Ian, and no one else new was added in this last half. And relationship tracker, Aria didn't gain anyone new. Spencer did gain Toby, who's going to be her longtime love. And then Hannah gained Caleb. And then Emily gained Paige. And Samara came into the picture, but they haven't kissed yet, so that's more like on the horizon. Obviously, Allison didn't get any new love interests because she is still deceased. The important characters that we got introduced to are like ones that are going to be more reoccurring moving forward were Paige, Garrett, Samara, and those were kind of like our four introductions that we will see reoccurring over either the next couple of seasons or like throughout the rest of the series. You will see them around. Right. Unfortunately for Paige, she is one that sticks to the bitter end.
Who's your favorite couple this half of season 1?
Spencer and Toby. Hands down. I just love seeing the beginnings of them too because it was such just like a genuine connection and like a slow build where they really had like animosity towards each other, like misconceptions about the other, and then seeing them kind of like overcome that and lean on each other when they don't really have a lot of other, like obviously Spencer has her friends, but like her family, we don't really see her have like amazing relationships with her family, and Toby doesn't really with his either, and kind of just see them bond. It's just so pure. I love them so much.
Yeah, they are great. When I was younger and watching this kind of for the first time, I remember really liking obviously Arya and Ezra and Spencer and Toby. Like when they got together this early time period, I would always like go on YouTube and watch the Spencer and Toby stuff, the scenes, the motel room scenes. But my favorite couple this rewatch, this second half of the season is hands motherfucking down Hannah and Caleb. Did not appreciate this couple back when I was a teen. I don't know why. I don't know what was wrong with me. I love them. I ship them so fucking hard. I was on that wild roller coaster ride of emotions that Hannah was on this season with Caleb and his involvement with Jenna and everything. I love them as a couple. I just think that they're dynamic, and like her approaching him first and being like the headstrong girl that she is. I just feel like with Sean, Hannah was always trying to be somebody that she wasn't for fear of like losing him. But with Caleb, she's just always been no bullshit like herself, very like headstrong, and I just think their chemistry is off the charts from the jump. And I love like how happy he makes her. I think genuinely too what really makes this show stand out is I feel, at least for the straight couples, everybody who is kissing each other like is enjoying kissing. I feel like Troy and Belisario and what's his name? Keegan Allen like enjoy kissing each other. Not saying that they like had a romantic relationship or anything, but it's like you can just tell that they don't hate what they're doing.
All the couples have really, or like those couples all have really good chemistry.
Yeah, and I think like that's
Arya
why
and Ezra, Spencer and Toby, Hannah, Caleb.
That's why they're like the OG like best couples that like are long lasting through the show. I think Caleb just seems like more Hannah's type, and he's kind of like a loser and an outcast and techie, but he's also the shower scene, iconic. I'll always remember too. Here's the thing, this show is my like first introduction to like sex on TV and like people having sex. I don't know, this and Glee. I will always remember the tent scene and like the owls and everything, and Hannah losing her virginity was like such a big deal. But that shower scene, bitch, nothing compares. Like she sees him naked, so then it's like, well, shit, I kind of like that.
I like what I see.
Yeah, and then it's so cute.
I love when they're camping too, and then she goes with him and like
Yeah.
sets up a little campsite with him, and then they have this just nice moment together. Oh, it's so pure.
Yeah, and she tells him about fat camp.
And I agree. I don't think I appreciated them enough the first time around. That I'm like really enjoying watching their dynamic more.
Yeah, as a grown woman, I'm a Haleb subscriber. Who's your favorite mom this time around? Obviously not Pam. Get the fuck out.
Definitely not Pam. Here's the thing. For some reason, I just love Veronica so much. Like, and I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is about her. Like, I love in the first half of the season some of the stuff she does. I don't really even love the way that she treats Spencer a lot of the times. I think I just love her and, like, what a bad bitch she is. But I do think that, like, my favorite relationship, like, mother-daughter relationship, and why I always like Miss Marin the most is because I do think that, like, out of the moms, she seems to be the one that, like, Hannah's the closest to and really, like, wants her mother's approval, you know, and, like, just has, like, a genuine friendship and, like, parental child relationship with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, like, I enjoy watching their dynamic the most, but I think just, like, I don't know why I just love Veronica so much. So, what about you?
Well, I know I said last episode that I really love Ella, and I do. I think she's fine, but this second half I don't fuck with her because I think her whole affair with Byron, which, like, you can't have an affair with your fucking husband, but I just think that's so sad and pathetic and stupid, and I don't give a fuck about it at all. So Ella's out. Veronica, I agree, slay queen. I love her so much. But yeah, it's Miss Marin. It's Miss Ashley Marin for me this season. She's a little botched with the putting money in a pasta box situation. Don't think that's super smart. She's a single mom, working her fucking pussy off, serving looks at all times.
Serving looks.
She is stunning.
Yes.
I just love when she's like, you'll always be my baby girl and I'll always find a way to take care of you. The dynamic, like you said, between her and Hannah, where it's like, we take care of each other. And then everything Ashley does is like for Hannah and to pay off their mortgage, and everything Hannah does is for her mom. And like, she lets herself get wrapped up in A's game to like get that money back for her mom and her. So I just love it. I think their relationship is like put to the test with Caleb like sneaking around and staying in their house and everything. But then when she's like accepting and welcoming of Caleb, again, it's like, fuck yes, queen. Because unlike some other mothers who are not going to be mentioned at this point in time, her child doesn't have to like beg her to accept her. It's just like, okay, I'm going to be a decent person and like accept this person who I'm like a little wary about just because I'm a protective mother.
Yeah.
Not because she's
and like as she should be.
Right. It comes out of a place of like protection and like best interest, whereas Pam, it's coming from a place of judgment and hate.
Yeah. And same with Veronica. Like, she's worried about the public opinion about Toby. Hannah's where like Miss Marin, all she cares about truly is Hannah not getting hurt. And I love when her and Caleb have that moment where she's like, you can stay in the house, and like they have their little like one-on-one. What like allies the two of them become over the course of the show. And like when they try to like work together to help Hannah at certain times, like I just really love their friendship that grows over the course of the show. Yeah,
they have a very close like mother and boyfriend relationship because they're looking out for Hannah. I would just like to know, I have a couple of like, what would you do type scenarios with the situations that are happening, because we talk about, you know, like, are these girls making the right decisions? Could things have been different or better if they would have acted differently? You know, a lot of people have stuff to say about like the girlies' decision making on this show. So I just want to know, like, what are you doing in some of these situations? Scenario A, you find thousands of dollars in a pasta box that your mom hid in the pantry.
I'm definitely asking her about it and probably saying, like, we should put it somewhere safer. What are you doing?
Well, I'm definitely telling my friends. Like, because she finds it and they're there and she, like, rushes them out of the house. There's no way I would be like, the fuck? I'd be like, oh my God. I think Hannah and her mom's relationship, like, they're a united front, whereas I think my, like, dynamic with my parents might be a little different. But yeah, I definitely would be a blabbermouth and, like, tell my friends about it. Part B of that scenario is when you lose the stolen money that your mom stuffed in the pasta box, what are you doing?
Crying. Having a panic attack.
I said I'm killing myself.
I mean, like, I would genuinely feel so bad, and I would genuinely just have so much anxiety, like, not knowing, because I would know I would never be able to replace that, and, like, knowing that we really needed that, and that my mom committed, like, a felony in order to get that money in the first place, I would be doing whatever possible to try to get that money back. So if it meant eating 6 cupcakes out on the side of the road, I'd be doing it.
I had the munchies bad during that scene, and I wanted to be eating those cupcakes with her. I was like, I'll help you, girl.
Again, I'm thinking about this realistically. There's no way that someone looking like Ashley Benson is eating cupcakes and that there are, like, jocks oinking at her. Like, she is the it girl. It doesn't matter how many cupcakes she's eating. They're not, like, oinking at her.
Or just, like...
Just people in general, I feel like.
When I watched that scene, I was like, who the fuck does that? Like, who is laughing at somebody, like, by themselves out like that? But it happens. I have an experience to share. I was out and about in these streets in Los Angeles. I was coming from the bar, but I wasn't, like, drunk or anything. Like, I wasn't making a big scene. I had a little ice cream treat post-bar because ice cream post-bar is incredible. I was sitting on a little patio, eating my ice cream, minding my own business while my friend was going to the bathroom, and I was waiting for her, and the ice cream was really thick, so my spoon broke. And I was like, damn. But then I look up and I notice that these 2 men are just, like, laughing at me that I broke my spoon. They're, like, sitting across at a different table, like, laughing. And I hear one of them go, like, oh my God, she just broke her spoon. I called them out for it because I was like, I'm just sitting here by myself. And then they like, tried to get out of the situation, but I was like...
What's funny about that?
You shouldn't just, like, laugh at somebody who's out here, like, by themselves, just minding their own business. Like, it was, like, a malicious laugh. It was, like, a making fun of me type laugh. And it was just like, that's not nice. Don't do that. Yeah. So when I was watching that scene, I was like, that doesn't happen. But I was like, no, it literally does, because men are awful.
That is trash.
I don't like that. And when I walked away, I, like, flipped him off. I was like, fuck you. Don't be a bully. Good. Like, you're literally an adult bully. That's really, that's embarrassing for you.
That's embarrassing.
That's why I called him out on it, because he was getting all flustered and everything after I called him out on it. I'm like, that's how you should feel. Like, you should feel stupid. I don't know why you're, like, laughing at somebody. Another scenario. Put yourself in Mr. Ezra Fitz's shoes. So a punk ass kid goes to the school that you work at, blackmailing you about your predatory relationship with one of your students. But your educational integrity is telling you and making you question that you shouldn't change the grade because he doesn't deserve it. What are you doing?
To be honest, I'm probably changing the grade.
Okay, me too.
Because here's the thing. It's either jail or you just, like, pass this kid until he's graduated.
Right. Worse things have happened. Like, worse people have had passes to, like, graduate before.
Yeah, and, like, come on, you can't be the only English teacher at this school. Like, he's got to have someone new next year. So it's like, just get him by in your class and then you're good.
He could blackmail him for, like, actual money too. That's the thing.
I'd give him the grade, and if he came back and he was, like, blackmailing more and more, like, outside of grades, then that's different. But I feel like if it's a grade, because, like, how could anyone really prove too that it's, like, that you are giving him better grades? Like, as long as he's turning in actual work, you could be like, oh, well, you know, like, I know he's been trying, and so I wanted to, like, encourage him by giving him a good grade. Like, you could bullshit your way enough to, like, and especially with English, like, English is subjective. It's not like he's doing math and, like, obviously an answer is right or wrong.
Right.
I'd, like, do it, and then obviously if he comes back with more, then that's a different story. But for right now, I'd just go path of least resistance and save my own ass.
Yeah, I would too. I would definitely be changing the grade. I don't know why he's giving so much pushback on that. Like, I don't think Ezra is aware of the stakes of his situation. He just, from the jump, when he's, like, taking, or when they're at that bar together and his friend sees them interacting and he's like, you're gonna be wearing a fucking jumpsuit, bro. Yeah. Get it together. I agree. I'm changing the grade, and if he's, like, continuing to push, I would do something to, like, flex my authority. I would, like, give him detention every day or something. I would do something to, like, make him be like, don't fuck with me, you know?
Yeah.
Arya and Ezra, I just feel like they get very sloppy this chunk of the series. Like, her being the stage manager, horrible idea. Her slipping up and calling him Ezra in front of all those people. Everyone knows. Everyone's gonna know.
And then her, like, when he's getting a coffee and, like, going up to him and they're talking, like, closely and, like, always going into his classroom. Y'all are stupid.
Yeah, and then he literally goes into her bedroom at the faculty mixer. Yeah! Like, when she's like, oh, I can show you my bed. Like, they're already planning on doing that. She's like, I can show you my bedroom. It's like, your parents are gonna be there.
Yeah.
You're insane.
What excuse are you gonna come up with when someone finds you upstairs in your bedroom?
Yeah. Also, when she accidentally texts her mom.
Okay, first of all, why are they signing their names at the end of like, she signs it Aria. Like, shouldn't the person know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't send my texts to you, Michaela.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that from now on, actually. What time are we recording? Michaela. They are very sloppy this season. I do have to say, I do love when they take the picture with the bags over their heads. I think that shit's cute.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of cute. But yeah, I'm definitely like, y'all are just asking to get caught.
The friends have all these like questions, or they're like weirdly fascinated with Emily's relationship, whereas I feel like if it were me in this situation, I would be like, so what do you guys do? Like, I would have so many questions if my friend was like in a relationship with one of our teachers. But then here's fucking Emily and Maya being like, we go to the movies just like you guys do, like explaining a lesbian relationship, which is just a fucking relationship. Like, all of her friends are like, oh yeah, this is so interesting. It's like, one of you is literally with the man who is employed to teach us.
I feel like the only one who like gives it the proper like what the fuck is Spencer, because like when Aria tells them at the hospital, she like makes a big deal out of it, and even then like her and Aria have a couple of phone calls where like Spencer is like, are you at his apartment, like are you doing this, are you doing that? Like, she's genuinely the only one who questions it and like properly. Otherwise they like, Hannah and Emily don't care.
Yeah, and then Hannah gets like accidentally involved because she almost gets Ella to like see that they're together.
Yeah.
And even them going to like the town over to an art gallery is risky business.
So dumb. Well, and also they like talk in the middle of the street. Like when he had his car with Noel's writing on the back of it, they literally talked in the middle of the street about it.
They're getting real risky. If a cop shows up, even though he's asking about Spencer, I'm still shook to the core. Like, ghosted. I'm not talking to you anymore.
Yeah.
I'm spooked. I feel like I had another really good what would you do situation that I came up with in the shower before I hopped on here, but now I'm like blanking on what it was. So that's fucking tragic. I feel like it had something to do with Caleb.
If it's would I have let Caleb sleep in my basement, the question is yes. Or the answer is yes.
Yeah. I have my top flops of the season.
Okay.
Coming in at number 5 is Byron and Loki Ella. I kind of already touched on this, but they're being so dramatic and I don't know what for, and I love it when Arya at the end is like, can you guys just fucking figure your shit out? Like, it's honestly annoying and people have real problems. So like, if you're gonna get divorced, get divorced. If you're gonna be together, fucking move back into your own home. I don't know why you're like sneaking out. Lucas is number 4. I feel for him, but also I think he needs to grow the fuck up, and he's just jaded and bitter, but then so eager to like try and pursue Hannah when Mona's like manipulating him in order to like give him a better chance with Hannah. Also, I'm just tired of like the nice guy gets it last and that whole like pity party situation that he's having on himself. It's really extra to like go out in the middle of the night when it's raining to destroy a memorial.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot. I know she bullied you, but like, that's a lot.
It's excessive.
Yeah.
Like, she is dead.
It's also like an open murder investigation though, and it's probably not a smart move to be like doing that at this moment in time.
No.
Number 3 flop is Noel Khan. I think he's a bitch boy. I don't know why they ever took him seriously enough to think that he was there's just no way. Cause he like, even Arya was trying to figure out like, do you have some sort of grudge against us? Like, what would even be his motivation? So I think it's more just like them thinking that he was more of the flop energy for me. I don't like the way he talks, and I think he's got crazy eyes. I just don't like the way that he looks at people.
See, here's the thing with him. You know what's so wild is that he auditioned for Ezra, and like that's the part that he really wanted. And he just seems so like young for that, you know? Like Ian Harding, even though he and Lucy Hale I think are only like 3 years apart or something, like it's a small age difference, but he just carries like an air of authority to him and like just has more of like a man vibe, where Noel Khan has like boy energy. Yeah. You know? And that's so wild to think about, like if he would have gotten Ezra. I do think he's hot though, so, and I think he does get hotter as the show goes on.
Yeah, and I applaud him for using his resources to blackmail his teacher. Like, whatever, you do what you gotta do, but just, like, put that effort into your assignments. It's English class. Like you said before, it's fucking subjective.
And also, what did he get? Like a B or a C? Like,
yeah, he got like a C. Spark notes. I wouldn't want to get involved in a situation like what Ezra and Arya have going on, because it's like,
that's messy.
That's gonna work itself out the way it's gonna work itself out. Number 2 flop is Paige. She's botched inside and out. This actress is in hot water right now because she's like getting hated on her TikTok for being problematic, and she just like posted an apology video like crying and shit.
Really?
Yeah.
What did she do?
Oh my god, Shelby was telling me about it last night, and she's like on there crying. It's just like, all you have to do is apologize. Yeah.
Wait, bully.
Lindsay Shaw has been bullied off of TikTok, and she's being pretty dramatic about it. Lindsay Shaw was like,
Trash. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that later.
So tragic. The karaoke moment, I hate it. I don't identify with that representation, and she's just gay and bitter, and I hate the trope of like the person who's bullied the gay person. Like, it's not even bullying. She tries to kill Emily. Like, she holds her head under the water. 2 minutes later, they're together. Just because somebody else is gay, that doesn't mean they're gonna end up together. You're still a bully. You're still a bitch. If you try to drown me, just because I find out we play for the same team, baby, that doesn't mean it's gonna happen. I hate the trope of like, well, the bully's actually just gay.
Yeah, and here's the thing, is like they could have had like a really good hate to love kind of storyline, especially because it started out so strongly in hate, and it was just, no, they don't have the talent for that. I'm sorry.
No,
like,
they don't.
It's not there.
They don't, and it was too quick of a turnaround. You got to have the slow burn, like enemies to like allies and friends to like lovers, maybe. But yeah, she's so botched when she sings "So What." Horrible.
Yikes.
And she's just she's gay and bitter, and I don't like her.
The fact that the writer too of this show is a gay woman and married to a woman, and the fact that like this is the relationship, like all of Emily's relationships suck. Like you would think that those should be like so good, and they're just not.
Yeah, we did not have very many good lesbians TV relationships back in the 2010s. It was really just Santana and Brittany. Okay, number 1 flop, Pam Fields, frigid bitch. I don't know what her issue is. Her crying in the pantry is so stupid. Like, you're crying. You're crying. You judge every other thing that comes out of Maya's mouth, and you're in the pantry crying because your daughter being in love with somebody makes you, as you said, sick to your stomach.
Oh my god, yeah.
What? When she sees through the bedroom, like, door crack, their legs, like, kicking up, and she bursts in, it's like, I can't imagine where this was headed. Okay. I don't know what she was insinuating.
I don't know what kind of sexual position you think they would be in with how their legs were maneuvered. Like,
I'm already triggered by the fact that everybody wears their shoes on the bed in this show. Shoes are always on the bed.
Were they wearing shoes?
Yes! They had their full boots on and their jeans.
Atrocious.
And they're just kicking their legs up while they're laying on their stomachs like cute little girly pops. I don't understand. Pam is just confused. If that's not what scissoring is, babe. That's not how it works. Just because their legs are like kicking up, they're just like, they're just chilling doing homework.
And in the same direction.
Yeah, good for her. Whatever, like coming in and defending Emily at the end, but that doesn't excuse her very awful behavior.
Can I add one more flop to the list?
Please.
Melissa Hastings.
Yes.
Flop. You know what I've come to realize, especially watching this back now, is that Melissa has been a flop from day one. She has never had a moment where she like is killing it. She is always floppy.
Yeah, and she could kill it. She has the potential to. Fucking tragic that you're going back to this man. And then you speedy elope. She's trying to be like the top bitch in her family, but then she's doing all of this shit. Like, oh, we're pregnant. Oh, I thought you would be happy for me. And every time she cries over every little thing, like, oh my god, I have to be the one to make the call to cancel the venue. Stop.
You're embarrassing.
You are so embarrassing. You need to have a single era where you like get some self-respect because you need to mix in a water and some self-respect because it's not giving.
And can you just imagine, like, if she was a bad bitch and it was, like, her, Veronica, and Spencer? Unstoppable. Like, don't fuck with Hastings. And they have a hot dad. Like,
Right.
Peter's hot, okay? Just saying. Yes, he is a flop, and he turns out to be the ultimate flop of this show. That bead lady, it's on sight if I ever saw her. She is terrifying.
Yeah, there's lots of little shop owners in this show that they like have to go to get clues that are just sus. And I think they are all in
cahoots.
Organization. Yes.
Do we think A orchestrated the heart attack of Mrs. Porter?
I wouldn't put it past her.
Because that's never like something that comes back up, but I feel like that timing is like so convenient. And then we get that shot of A putting flowers on the grave. And I'm like, can you like give someone a heart attack? Like, I kind of wish that was something in one of Mona's, you know, when she has that like confessional scene, you know, when they're asking her all those questions and she's answering. I kind of wish that she was like, I killed Mrs. Porter.
Yeah, I wish we could have had a tell-all. A's journey and everything that she actually like orchestrated and the things that they missed. Also, just the girls are so sure. Every time they unearth a new bit of evidence, they're like, this is it. This is, wow. I can't believe it's been Ian this whole time. It's like, you guys have been wrong every step of the fucking way. What makes you so sure that like, they're just so convicted that they found the murder weapon and it was Ian with the trophy in the woods? Like,
did they not wonder, like, why does he have a trophy out in the middle of the woods?
So at this point in time, they think that Ian killed Allie because she had, I mean, obviously Ian is a criminal. He was taking videos of underage minors. Good that they busted his ass. But at this point in time, they know he's not A, but he killed Allie and tried to kill Spencer because of the evidence that they had against him. And he was in cahoots with Jenna, and Jenna's involvement is that he had video of her being pervy to her stepbrother.
Bad bitch alert when she slapped Jenna and then she handed her sunglasses and she was like, this was Jenna. Or this was Hannah, in case you didn't know.
Fuck yeah, Hannah.
I love how reckless she is. Because, like, I feel like her and Spencer are, like, the two most interesting ones to watch when they're on this, like, A journey. Because Spencer is very, like, calculated and logical, where Hannah is more, like, passionate and reckless. And, like, those are the two most fun to watch them kind of, like, head off. Forces, you know?
1000% agree with you. I feel like Hannah is the second smartest in this group, and people don't talk about that enough. And her one-liners that she says, like, and now she's knocked up with his bad seed when they're doing the play. Just like so off the cuff, like, and now Melissa's gonna have Ian's bastard child.
She's so funny.
Secondary most key player, putting herself out on the line, like going into the dentist office trying to get dentist records in the first half of this season, you know, doing all this stuff. She saves Arya's bitch ass because she easily, like, she's getting manipulated by A to get the money back for her mom. Like, Hannah really has a lot of skin in this game. And Arya shouldn't be having relationships with her teacher anyway, but Hannah is like, you know what, I'm gonna get you out of this situation. She cuts like the cords in Elle's car or whatever. Badass bitch. And she brings Caleb into the mix and has him like fix everybody's phone and like helps them get in clutch that way. She's very smart. She's very intuitive. People underestimate her and she's killing it. She's like my secondary standout star. Very like close to Spencer. Can't compete with Spencer.
No. There was a Jenna line where I was like, I feel like they're supposed to like, that was supposed to be like a kind of moment, but it just fell flat because Jenna's an actual piece of garbage. So when she's like, after they confront her about the video and when she turns to leave and she was like, just remember that everyone makes mistakes, but I'm still paying for yours. I felt like that was supposed to be a moment that we were supposed to be like, oh my God, like, yeah, think about like what Jenna's having to deal with. She actually assaulted her brother. She assaulted Toby. Like, you think Toby isn't still paying for Jenna's predatory behavior towards him?
Yeah, she called the cops on his ass too.
Like, I don't feel any sort of compassion towards Jenna whatsoever. Like, when Mona turned, like, when obviously we get into Mona's villain era, I always like still feel like a sense of sadness and like empathy towards Mona, but I feel like nothing towards Jenna. I'm like, you get what's coming to you.
Absolutely.
The swimming stunt double jumping off of the platform, at least try to find someone that looks even slightly closer to Shay Mitchell than that.
Yeah.
It is.
Gotta be quicker than that. Like when in High School Musical with Gabriella's stunt double diving in.
Yeah.
That is not her.
Once again, just the early Spoby days were so nostalgic, and I loved it.
Mm.
We get another creepy cop in Garrett coming in. Just another flop. We have all flop cops except for Toby in this show, and I just absolutely hate Garrett. He brings nothing to this show. He brings nothing to my screen, and I just really hate his whole involvement.
Highlighting the corrupt cop, like corruption that is in Rosewood PD. You should have stayed in Lizzie McGuire.
You should have. I do love the one episode where everyone is off having a night with their boo things. I think that is really cute because we have Arya and Ezra having dinner at his apartment. We have Hannah and Caleb in the tent, Spencer and Toby at the motel, and as tragic as it is, Paige and Emily at the dive bar. And we talked about it in the last episode, how all of the girls do really get like equal showing on this show and that they all like are 4 main characters together. And I just like that they showed obviously like all 4 of them are having couple time and we're seeing all 4 of them having that and like a decent amount of time spent with all of them. That I just liked how they pretty much throughout the entire show they kept that very even.
Yeah, they interweave them so well that it's not off-putting or it doesn't seem like too much story. Hannah's storyline gets intertwined with Arya's because of the whole A manipulating her with the Ezra situation, and then Spencer's storyline is like very tied into Allie's storyline and Allie being involved with Ian and then Spencer being involved with Ian and then Spencer being framed for Allie's murder, Spencer's shadow in the video, that flashback too of them arguing and Allie being like, you guys wouldn't exist without me and I fucking made all of you and all this stuff. It's just like, that potential to have it have been like one of them did it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know if you ever saw the movie Bodies with Pete Davidson.
I do want to watch it though, but I've heard it's scary.
It's not too bad, but I don't want to like spoil it or anything, but I think it'd be interesting if they all like thought they had a role in her murder or like they all thought that they were the reason why she passed away or something along those lines. I think it's just interesting, and the power struggle between Spencer and Allie is something that's like very interesting, and I'm excited to see how that continues like throughout the show.
It would have been so good if it was one of them. I mean, it kind of was in a way, but just not in a good way. And then just my last note that I had was this is the first time that we see one of the girls kind of be put in hot water in regards to Allison's death and like just with the cops. I mean, they're always kind of like on the cops' radar, obviously, but this is the first time where it's like legitimately like, oh shit, this is like real deal stuff. When Spencer is being framed, the final showdown with her and Ian at the church, like that is like this show goes dark at certain times, and like for the timing and like for the age group of this to like see him hanging from the bell tower, like that was dark. That was kind of like creepy. So it really was just again like kind of the first of its show for our age group when we were younger doing stuff like this.
Yeah, it's interesting that the season finale is called For Whom the Bells Toll, and that's like Game of Thrones.
I think that's why I got that confused. Remember, I was like, is that the Mandela effect? No, it was just the fact that this was what that was called.
I'm excited for like all of the significant others to get involved in knowing who A is, and then like you said, them just like getting deeper and deeper into the web with the police and what the police know and the investigation in Allie's murder and then all the other shit that A stirs up. Yeah, it was neat that like Toby was the first one to kind of be exposed to who A is, and I think that makes sense for the plot. Also really liked how the girlies like snuck Maya over to Spencer's house for Maya and Emily to have their little moment. We love an ally situation like that. Maya and Emily should be the couple throughout this whole season. I don't know why the fuck Emily is so quick to drop Maya for Paige. She has Samara, beautiful, just standing there.
Honestly, I think Samara is the best option that Emily's had and does have over the course of the show. Besides the baker lady that comes in at the end. I forget what her name was, but she was also a good option.
Paige is a flop. Allie's a flop.
She turns into a flop. She was such a bad bitch. Like when you watch these flashbacks, I'm like, her character was so good. And then by the end, it was just like, yikes.
The moment too when Ian and Spencer are struggling in the bell tower and A comes and like pushes Ian and he recognizes A. I just think that that's like really interesting. Sets up the next season very well.
Especially then when we learn in like, what is it, season 3 that we learn who that was?
No, I think maybe we learned that in season 4, because I'm thinking of the scene where Mona's sitting down and she says, I don't know who pushed Ian off the bell tower, I wish I did. And then I think when Allie has that like tell-all in that basement in season 4 is when she says that she pushed Ian off the bell tower.
Well, shit. Yeah, I forgot all of the stuff like that. Like, I don't know who A is doing all the stuff right now. Like,
You don't remember who this A is?
Is it Mona?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's fun then that I wish actually I wouldn't have just said that, because it is kind of, I would like to experience it again not knowing all that stuff. You know what though, the reveal that I wish I would like not remember would be Toby. Like to experience that like absolute gut punch when he turns around.
Okay, guys. Next week, I think we're talking about my favorite bitch. Lindsay Lohan has returned to the big screen, and we're going to be talking about her new holiday movie on Netflix, Falling for Christmas with Cord Overstreet. Tune in for that next time. And we're going to be continuing with this rewatch series of Pretty Little Liars. Our 3-year anniversary is coming up, which is so crazy. Thank you guys again for just listening to us and always supporting us. And if we were on your Spotify Wrapped, don't forget to share that with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our Instagrams. Everything is linked in the description below.
Lilas.
Woo!